I'm in the colourful house or maisonette of Sue Kreitzman, who is originally from Washington Heights, New York, but she has been a resident in London, would you say, or just the UK?
In the UK.
In the UK for 32 years. And she lives in the most amazing place. But you'll have to see the other video to have the tour, you might say. Hello, Sue. Lovely to be here.
Jilliana, you fit right in. I am delighted to have you here.
I'd certainly fit in with the colours. I'm colourful myself. You, of course, have become quite an icon with your red glasses. Tell me about those glasses. Where did they come from?
The first time I put on a pair of red glasses, I was probably 15.
Oh.
And I had the kind of nearsightedness that they told me.
Myopia.
But it would vanish when I was in my 20s, which it did. Of course, now that I'm much older, I have eye problems again.
Right.
But so I wish I still had those red glasses from 1950-something, and then I knew that red spectacles were for me.
And all your life, have you always had red spectacles?
Well, I went through a period in my 20s and my 30s where I did not need
Right.
spectacles. So when I needed them again, I knew I had to have red ones.
And what make are those? What brand, I should say?
That's a bit of a story. I got my first wonderful red spectacles from the flea market at Old Spitalfields Market. They cost me £12.
I bet those didn't
Beautiful.
cost £12.
Yeah. And I wore those for a long time.
Yes.
And then I needed new prescription and so on, so I decided, I saw these but black ones in Manhattan.
Right.
And I loved them.
Yes.
So I did buy them, and I used those as sunglasses, but I brought the frames to a guy in Islington, and he copied them in red for me.
I see. So they're bespoke.
I really adore them.
Oh, they're fabulous.
Yeah, I adore
I mean,
them.
they really suit you.
Yeah, and when you're blind as a bat, which I am at this age, you might as well make a statement.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Now, for myself, it's very odd because I wore glasses all my life, and in fact, usually French ones, which suited me. But I had a different look, and then about, I can't remember, I think it was 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with diabetes 2, and they put as they do, they put eye drops in, and you know what? I haven't worn my glasses ever since. I couldn't actually afterwards see out of my glasses. And so for the last 4 years, I have, because I always feel it's a matter of confidence not wearing glasses, or rather wearing glasses. I don't wear my glasses anymore.
Well, if I want to be able to read, if I want to be able to see distance,
yes.
I really need them. And I have varifocals, so
yes.
It's reading, distance, all in one, which is fantastic.
Anyway, they are fabulous.
So I'll just say one thing about the glasses. I used to cook on the BBC, daytime television, all the time. You could not get away from this face. And they didn't like the red glasses, so for TV, I wore black ones.
And they didn't steam up?
They well, no. And you know, there was a special spray you could put on them so they wouldn't steam up, which was a great discovery. But I wore black ones, which were very dramatic and very nice, big ones, but they really didn't want red ones because it just sort of detracted from the food. So as soon as I stopped cooking on television, bang, the red ones came back. Right.
Well, they are statement, as are your clothes and, you know, your look.
I do not dress for fashion. I dress for art.
Exactly. Well, you are wearable art, walking art.
I am a walking collage.
You are indeed a mosaic of colours and textures. And in fact, I met you in New York, and I kicked myself that I didn't photograph you. I remember exactly what you were wearing. It was a hand-painted coat.
Yeah.
A long one.
Yeah, still love it.
Yes, you were an apparition, you might say.
A hallucination.
Anyway, it always reminds me of a couple who dealt in optics. He was a psychiatrist, and his name was Sid. I can't remember his surname. And his wife was called Lucy. And the company name was Lucid.
That's good. That's very good.
Which was pretty good. Yeah.
That's
I always remember that. He used to come to Portobello and tell me psychiatry jokes. have me in stitches. Anyway, back to you, Sue.
Okay, so where was I?
God knows.
Anyway,
I think you were going to start talking about how you got into cooking, I think.
I had a long, happy cooking career. I started my adult life, I guess, as a classical oboe player.
That's right.
And it took me through university on a scholarship. I went to a wonderful university that worked with the New York Philharmonic, so we were mentored by, oh my God, by the New York Philharmonic people.
By the
was
best.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I taught school for 12, 15 years, the inner city in New York, the inner city in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and the inner city in Atlanta, where I had many real adventures, which I'm not
And you were
gonna go
there
into
for
now.
18 years, but we'll
I
talk
was in
about that
Atlanta
some
for
other
18
time.
years. But during my experience as a school teacher in Atlanta, which I loved, wonderful things happened to me there. But one of the best things, I was in my early 30s, maybe 32, I got pregnant. And that, I wanted to have a baby anyway. It seemed like, and my husband actually had a job. He was finished with his endless graduate study. So he was at Emory University. Great. So my idea was, I was teaching in a school in the inner city where I was very, very happy. And all of us teachers got along so well. But I said, I'm going to go on maternity leave. And when the baby is old enough, I will come back. But
And did you?
No. Several things happened. The idea, I only wanted one child, and I only had one child. And the magic of being there when the child is developing and growing up, that was fantastic to me. And I always loved cooking. I mean, I loved cooking. I was obsessive.
So that was your passion.
It was my passion. And I taught myself many different cuisines. I was very, very happy. And when I was pregnant and when the baby was a little baby, it was the first time in my life since I was 15 that I didn't have some sort of a job, because even when I was going to school, when I was in college, I always had a job and then I was always working. Suddenly, I was unemployed. I was just a mother. First, I was a gestating creature, and then I was a mother. And I spent a lot of my time cooking. And my husband, who was a fairly distinguished academic person, he would have meetings once a month with the MIT Alumni Society.
And you would do the
in
catering.
Atlanta. And each month when they had their meeting, they would meet and talk, and they would have some sort of event that they would do. They would maybe go to the theater. I don't even remember the stuff they did. But one month, it was come to the Kreitzmans for dinner. I threw myself into that with such passion. I adore Hungarian cuisine. I have a really special place in my heart, and it's not just the heartburn. I really love it.
Are you of Hungarian heritage?
I am not. I am of Eastern European heritage, but
Right.
not necessarily
We'll have to
Hungarian.
talk about that some other time. Anyway,
Yeah.
back to the
So
cooking.
I made a complete Hungarian dinner party.
Wow.
And in front of each dish, I had the name of the dish in English and in Hungarian.
Oh.
It was an event. It was a pageant of amazing food. Of course, none of them had ever had anything.
How
like
many
that in their
guests did
lives.
you have?
There were probably maybe 25 people.
Wow.
It was great. It was great. So, unbeknownst to me, one of the people who were at this dinner wrote books for Harcourt Brace Jovanovich in New York, which at that time was quite a distinguished publishing company.
Right.
And she wrote to, I didn't know, she wrote to her editor, and the editor wrote to me, and suddenly I was a cookbook author.
We'll continue with that in part 2. Thank you very much, Sue.
My pleasure.